Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Non-Stop Wrestling Raw. My name is beautiful Dave Easton. What a night we have for you. It's the first night for the exclusive roster of the Raw brand, and this should be a very exciting night coming up, as our Raw GM John Laurinaitis is about to join us in the ring with some exciting news for the Raw brand. Tonight also we will see in action in our main event the world champion Daniel Cage is going to team up with Bray Wyatt to take on the United States champion Big E Langston and Money in the Bank Mark Russ. That is our main event. But as I said, Mr. John Laurinaitis, our GM, is in the ring. Let's see what he has to say. And he has got a title belt round his waist. And he's saying these are the Non-Stop Wrestling Tag Team titles, since the NWO has the World Tag Team titles over on SmackDown. So, well, it looks like we are going to have some new tag team belts, and we are going to have 4 quarter-final matches tonight. In the semi-finals will be next week, and the final will be at SummerSlam. So new tag team titles going to be here in Non-Stop Wrestling. Non-Stop Wrestling tag team titles. We see the matches tonight, and we kick off with the first quarter-final match. It is the Wyatt family, Screwface and the Fallen versus Kings of Wrestling. And here comes the Wyatt family, Screwface and the Fallen. And as always, Bray Wyatt has come out with them. Mixed results in tag team competition for these two over the last few weeks, but they will want to qualify for the next round. It won't be easy though, as they take on Kings of Wrestling, Antonio Cesaro and Cassius Ohno. And well, this tag team that was drafted last week 8th in the draft will be wanting to show what they have in the tag team division, and will want to become the first ever Non-Stop Wrestling tag team champions. I see with the NWO taking the World Tag Team titles over with them. This is the first quarter-final match that we will see tonight. Antonio Cesaro and Screwface start the match. Antonio Cesaro, all about business, and they want to make an impact here on Raw. Cesaro taking Screwface over, drops the leg down. So many twists and turns, I'm sure, to come in this tournament. Have been advised by John Laurinaitis that there is a few surprises coming up tonight on Raw, so stay with us to find out what they are, as Cassius Ohno is in the ring for the first time, drops the elbow right across the shoulder blades, and Cesaro leaves the ring. But look at this, Screwface, a bit of a collision there. Screwface tried to get the hand for the Wyatt family, and a neckbreaker takes down Cassius Ohno. Screwface finally gets some offense in for the Wyatt family. Look at Bray Wyatt on the outside, making sure things go well for his team. Screwface hammering away. Yet to see the Fallen in this match so far, as Screwface now in the wrong corner, and tags in again to Cesaro. Another big elbow drop right across the back. Kings of Wrestling in control, and look at this, some wrestling holds going on here. Screwface not having any of that. Chops down Cesaro, kick into the gut. And watch this coming up, suplex coming up, yes it is. And now we'll see the Fallen for the first time in the match. Cesaro, but look at that, taken down. Raw will continue, we'll be right back. Just a few short seconds, stay with us here on Raw. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, live on Raw. Cesaro still in the ring with the Fallen, as Kings of Wrestling versus Bray Wyatt. The Wyatt family here in the first quarterfinals of the Non-Stop Wrestling Tag Team Tournament began tonight. John Laurinaitis, our Raw GM, officially announced the new belts and the tournament today, as Cassius Ohno behind the referee's back has thrown the Fallen back into the ring, but then gets knocked off the apron for his trouble. Fallen not taking any of that. Cassius Ohno distracted by Bray Wyatt on the outside. Pushes Wyatt away, maybe a bad thing there. Gives the Fallen a chance to recover. Throws Cesaro into the barrier and again. But Cesaro comes back with a chop. And into the headlock. Takes down the Fallen with an armbar. Referee still counting here. Wyatt trying to block Cesaro's entrance back into the ring, but will get away with it. And the Fallen looks to be trying to tag out. Look to tag out. Got hit with a big back suplex. And Cesaro now into the armbar looking for a submission. And the Fallen's in a lot of trouble here. Screwface thinks he's going to get out of it. Referee checking. And he has submitted. And there you go. And the Kings of Wrestling will progress to the next round. And Screwface is just cannot believe what's just happened there. But the Kings of Wrestling, Cesaro and Cassius Ohno, will qualify for the semi-finals. And well, Screwface I think was shocked more than anything else that the Fallen submitted to that. But your winners in our opening contest is Cassius Ohno and Antonio Cesaro, the Kings of Wrestling. They're going to the semi-finals. Bray Wyatt now has to get himself ready for the main event where he'll team with Daniel Cage later on this evening. But as I said, your winners of this opening contest and through to the semi-final, Cassius Ohno, Antonio Cesaro, Kings of Wrestling, congratulations to them. As we're backstage with Michael Cole, who's got Daniel Cage. Says Daniel Cage, you see you've took a different path, seemingly turning your back on your good friend Mark Russ over the last few weeks. And let's see, and he says, Michael Cole, I've not turned my back on anyone. Mark Russ turned his back on him. And when he went for Money in the Bank and won a shot at the title, he'd be helping me keep it, not taking it for himself. Well, that's very selfish. I would say Daniel Cage. And he says, but I've asked him to beat me later on, and we will talk about it. It's just business, and we can still be friends through all of this. Well, after what Daniel Cage has done over the last few weeks, I don't know if Mark Russ should even trust him. But maybe we'll find out later on. Remember, they are supposed to be on opposite teams for the main event tonight. Very, very strange here so far on Non-Stop Wrestling 4. Coming up next, it is a women's singles match. It is Sydney versus Molly Holly. And here comes Sydney. I haven't seen much of her over the last few weeks. And remember, the women of the Non-Stop Wrestling were not available to be drafted, as they can appear on both shows. And here comes Molly Holly. Still waiting to see if we will get the match later on between Paige and Nikki Bella. Paige, who has said that she will only fight champions here in Non-Stop Wrestling, but after attacking the women over the last week, well, since the start, a few of them want to get a hold of her. But your next contest here is Sydney versus Molly Holly. Off we go. Sydney started off bigger woman. Look at this, just take Molly Holly down. Big punches to the face. Sydney is such a tall lady, got such an advantage over many of the other women here in the Non-Stop Wrestling world. Big clubbing shot to the back. Look at this, with ease just puts Molly Holly on top. And hits the backdrop. Yeah, there it is, right off the top rope. Molly Holly in trouble early on. These two girls have met on a few occasions here in Non-Stop Wrestling. Look at this, Molly just picks her up, drops her down. Just with the Paige situation, are we going to see Paige versus Nikki Bella tonight? Remember, Nikki Bella said on SmackDown that the match will take place tonight. Will it be for the Women's Championship? We will only find out later on. Molly Holly dropping down with a jawbreaker. Where does Megan fall into all of this as well, after Megan so desperately wants to get her hands on Paige after what's happened over the last few weeks? Especially these two girls as well. These two girls were attacked by Paige since the beginning of non-stop wrestling. I'm sure a lot of people will also wonder who Paige was on about when she says she doesn't work alone. So many things coming up that need to be answered in this women's division. As a flapjack there from Molly Holly, who is now in control over Sydney. Throws it into the corner. Big shot into the corner. As Molly Holly still contains control. Raw will continue though. Stay with us. We just need a quick commercial break for editing and then we'll be back. And we are back. Molly Holly still in control here on Raw. Second match of the night so far. New tag team titles have been said by John Laurinaitis as a cover just for one. We've already had one quarter-final match. Kings of Wrestling defeated the Wyatt family. They will be in the semi-final next week as Molly Holly now gives Sydney a bit of her own medicine here. Goes to the top rope. Is this a backdrop coming up? Yes, it is. And Molly Holly could have this one here. Into the cover. Goes to the cover. No, just a one. Sydney drops down. Big headbutt. And now looks to take advantage. Oh, and there is the slam into the face, into the mat. Is that enough to put Molly Holly away? Into the cover. Gets a 1, 2. No, just a 2 count. Thought that was going to be a 3. Molly throws Sydney back in. Looks for another top rope super backdrop. And again, hits her off the top. Oh, it looked like Sydney hit the back of her head really hard there. Into the cover this time. Is this enough to put Sydney away? Yes, it is. That's the 3 count. And Molly Holly has got the victory this evening. Congratulations to her. And she now picks up. This is some of the things you missed through the break there. Just a shot through the table. And, well, Sydney will be very disappointed that she was put away there. But Molly Holly picks up the win. Did look like Sydney hit her head really hard off the back suplex off the top rope. And Molly Holly gets the pin and picks up a win tonight. And surely she will have her eyes on either the women's champion or Paige down the road. Sure, she'll be interested to see that match tonight. Good victory for Molly Holly. And she will, as I said, keep an eye out on her friend Megan as well. Really, Megan, who stuck up for Molly Holly when she was accused earlier of being the woman attacking all the other women in non-stop wrestling. But your winner in this contest, it is Molly Holly. And a good win there for Molly Holly, as we see backstage. And John Light saying, Edge is not here this week, back next week. And here is Nikki saying, why have you called the match off tonight with Paige? She wants to face the champion. I'm here, let's go. Says because the match will take place at SummerSlam, and that is why will not take place tonight. So we're not going to see the women's title defended. John Laurinaitis has booked the match for SummerSlam. And Nikki's saying, fine, I will get her then. So there you go. And we just heard Edge is not here tonight. He was back next week here on Raw. As coming up next, it is in quarter-final match of the tag team division. And as I say, we haven't got any graphics for you because we don't know who the second team is. We do know the first team is Zadlin and Giant Limbo. John Laurinaitis has said he will personally tell us who is the second team. So this is one of the many surprises we're going to have tonight. Who is Zadlan and Giant Limbo going to face? Zadlan, who was drafted 4th. Giant Limbo drafted 9 last week. What a team these two will make. Two of the biggest individuals here on Raw, on Non-Stop Wrestling. So it'll be interesting to see who they will face tonight. And here is John Laurinaitis. And well, he says, I will tell everyone, I told everyone SmackDown will not be outdoing us. So welcome the next 2 superstars to Raw. It's the Uso brothers. Well, we know the Usos from WWE. And what a surprise that they're here in Non-Stop Wrestling. and welcome to the Uso brothers to Non-Stop Wrestling. Well, what an interesting young tag team these two men are, and they've got a hard task for their first match. It is coming up the second quarter-final match. It is the Uso brothers taking on Giant Limbo and Zadlan. So here we go. Zadlan and I think that's Jimmy Uso starting the match off. Be very interesting to see how the young Usos get on here. Signed to the Raw brand by John Laurinaitis. As Giant Limbo goes to work. Big uppercut, and I think that's Jimmy Uso in the ring. Jimmy and Jay. Look at this, takes the big man off his feet. That's the best thing to do, take the big man off his feet, try and keep him down. The Usos here then looking to get into the semi-final. We don't know who the semi-final pairs will be. We will find that out next week of the the semi-final matches, and then the winners go to SummerSlam. Look at this, Limbo had enough and just belly to belly suplex throws Jimmy Uso. Limbo now drops another big elbow down. Zadlan impressed with that. Now he's going to get back in the ring, but that gives enough time for Jimmy to tag in Jay. Two fresh men into the ring. As Zadlan, who was brought into Non-Stop Wrestling by Corey Graves, who are now on SmackDown, them two got split up last week. And this is very interesting to see how Zadlan and Giant Limbo get on here as a tag team. Never tagged before here in Non-Stop Wrestling. Giant Limbo, who was actually in our main event last week with teaming with Daniel Cage, didn't even get into the match. Dr. Daniel Cage wanted to do it all by himself, but look at this, the big man flying from the top. Crossbody, that should be able to do it. No, doesn't go for a pin. Jey Uso manages to get out. Raw will continue, stay with us. Quick advert break, and we'll be right back. And we're back here on Non-Stop Wrestling Raw. The Usos versus Giant Limbo and Zadlan in tag team competition. Second quarter-final match, as the Usos look to be finishing it here. Waiting and waiting. Is it too much? Has he waited too long? I think he has. Zadlan's gone to the outside. Had enough here. Look at this. Going after the announce table. This could be bad signs for the Usos. As Giant Limbo goes to work. I think that's on Jimmy on the outside. And this has just turned out to an all-out brawl here on the outside of the ring. Zadlan throws Jimmy, I think it was Jimmy into the ring post, and then Jay comes back, throws Zadlan into the ring post. Referee still counting here. Got to be careful, no. And the Usos are inside the ring. Zadlan being thrown into that ring post a few times. Now we'll get back into the ring. Oh, I don't know if there was a trip or anything there, but he got sort of thrown in. Usos now looking to put this away. And the forearm to the face. Zadlan, what's this? Super kick right into Zadlan's face. Could that be it? Into the cover. Giant Limbo hasn't realised what's happened. No, it's just a 1 though. I thought that could have easily been the end of the match. And then the Samoan backdrop. What's going to happen here? Could that be enough? Into the cover. Giant Limbo. Is he going to get there in time? No, he's not. And well, there you have it. The Usos have won their debut match here on Raw and will qualify for the semi-finals of the Non-Stop Wrestling Tag Team Tournament. What a result. And there you see the big super kick. And the Usos go forward to the semi-final. And there's the 3. Giant Limbo thought he had it. And no, we have a win for the Usos. Big win in their debut match. Jimmy and Jay, and they will qualify, as I say, for the semi-final. But for Zadlan, well, who would have thought that? They took down with ease. And Giant Limbo couldn't get in to make the save. And we have, well, I would call this a little bit of an upset. Despite it being out in a match, it is a little bit of an upset. The Usos have won. Congratulations to them. They go forward to the semi-finals. And that is the end of Non-Stop Wrestling Raw Part 1. Join us for Part 2. It's up very soon from beautiful Dave Easton. See you then.